Let's get you rich in Cyberpunk with this insane infinite money glitch that works with patch 2.01. It's a really cool glitch and there's so many different ways that you can do it. Get all the coolest cars, cyberware, whatever you want and never be broke again. This glitch works 100% of the time on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. Make sure to watch the whole video because for it to work, well, you gotta do it right. You're gonna be a pro with this pretty quick though. You can do this at any stage in the game, whether you're starting out or whether you're well into the game. I'm going to show you how to do it correctly so it works for you each and every time. I'm also going to show you which item will help you get rich so quick. You can also get infinite crafting components with this, which is pretty great. If you found this video helpful, make sure to drop it a like. The first thing we're going to do is go into our stash in our vehicles or in our apartments. What we want to accomplish here is ensuring that within our inventory we only have one item that is duplicate and stackable and a quantity of 2 or more in the junk category. And making sure any other junk items in our inventory end up in our stash because we're going to need them later. Through my testing, jewelry is the best, but any duplicate stackable piece of junk will work for this. Make sure in your inventory you only have those duplicate stackable items that you are going to use for this glitch. If you add any other junk in there, you will lose it in your first transaction. So make sure you only have the one set. So you have your one duplicate item in your inventory. We're ready to move to the next step. Now that we're all ready, let's make the magic happen. We are going to make our way to a drop box. You can do this at any vendor or drop box. Drop boxes have a lot more money though depending on your level, so I'd recommend those. You're going to the drop box and in your inventory you have that one set of junk that's duplicate and stackable. When you're at the Dropbox or vendor, filter to the junk section as indicated here, and you can see that we have our duplicate and stackable piece of junk. The first thing we're going to do on both consoles and PC, we're going to put our cursor on that and not move it. The next step is that you're going to hold down these buttons at the exact same time. The example I'm going to go over is one way to accomplish this. There are a few different button combinations you can press, and I've left more information about that in the pinned comments if you're having a problem with this way. However, if you do it correctly, it will work 100% of the time. On PlayStation, that's holding down on the right thumbstick, otherwise known as R3, and holding X at the same time. On Xbox, that's holding down the right stick, just like you do on PlayStation, and holding down A at the same time. And on PC, based on your bindings, for me it's holding down G and holding left click at the same time. Just to confirm, you have your cursor on your duplicate stackable junk. You're holding down those respective buttons. The next step with those buttons held down on PlayStation is to hit square, on Xbox is to hit X, and on PC, for me anyways, it's to press F. You might need both hands for this one, but it gets pretty quick and pretty easy. Once you do that, you're going to have the slider up to determine how many items that you want to sell. Once that slider's up, you can let go of those buttons for now. You'll now select one less than the maximum quantity to sell using the D-pad if you're using controller and using arrows if you're using a keyboard. Go ahead and confirm the sale as normal once you reduce the quantity to one less than the maximum. You'll get a pop-up asking you to confirm if you want to sell this one piece of junk or jewelry. Just go ahead and confirm that. Don't worry, it'll duplicate it all for you and you're gonna be rich. And look at that magic, it duped our sale. We got some sick Netrunner magic going here. It's pretty great though. We go ahead to the vendor and we buy back those items that we duplicated. And then we simply rinse, dry, repeat. We follow that same process of duping the sale to the vendor, buying back. Duping the sale to the vendor and buying back. Until the vendor doesn't have enough money to pay you. When you get to that final transaction where the vendor doesn't have enough money to pay you, as you can see in this example, I was trying to dupe a sale for $196,000. The vendor doesn't have enough money to pay double that for the dupe, so you'll get the single amount for that huge amount of items you're selling him. In this case, I got almost 200 grand from him. That's pretty awesome. Make sure if you have no additional duplicate stackable items that you buy a few dupes back from him. Now that you've taken the majority of this vendor's money, this is where you have a choice of what to do. If you try to rest for 24 hours and go back to that same vendor with that item, you will have some problems. If you try to dupe that same item, it will not appear in the buyback section of the vendor. It will appear under all items, but the more important thing is that the money will be all off and you'll be paying a crazy amount of money for those items and the duping wouldn't be profitable. So option 1 is to go back to your stash and get a different set of duplicate stackable items. You'll want to make sure to rest for 24 hours so the vendor gets his money back. Or option 2 is to go find another vendor and do the same thing over and over again. As I said earlier in the video, there is a trick to get you rich so quick if you have the right item. If the junk item you're using is jewelry, you can actually just rest for 24 hours, the vendor gets all their money back, and if you use jewelry for this duplication, although the item doesn't appear in that buyback section, the money's not all wacky and the glitch works just as you would expect, and you can get rich so quick with that expensive jewelry. And it saves a bit of time from either having to find another vendor or go back to your stash and get some other duplicate stackable items, as well as the high cost of it too. But even if you don't have jewelry, this goes really quick with any sort of junk item. To get unlimited crafting items, all you do is buy some of the duped items that you get from the vendors, break them down into common crafting items, and keep crafting upwards until you have what you want. Well, I hope this video was helpful and you make a lot of money. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.